So 100 years ago, two women seeing a child struggling with crutches in downtown Salt Lake City were inspired to start what became Primary Children's Hospital.
Children are our future. And if we can have healthier children, they grow into healthier adults. I mean, it creates the future that we all want.
And the compassion that they have for the parents and the kids, it's next level. And I can't thank them enough.
We were so scared. We were so scared because we thought brain surgery, you know, it's like a major thing.
You never want to experience Primary Children's, but when you do, you're just so grateful.
I can't even tell you how awesome they were.
I had this moment that I just knew everything was going to be okay. I don't think it would be happening without Primary Children's.
Scarlett is where she is today because of the advancements in medicine. Why would you not want to help advance medicine to give a better quality of life for generations to come?
Thank you so much for your donations. It helped a lot.
Good evening and welcome everyone to the annual KSL Primary Children's Hospital Give-A-Thon. I'm Mike Hedrick and I'm here at the KSL studios with Debbie Worthen. We got Shara Park here. We're all here to celebrate the Give-A-Thon. Kevin Eubank is with the phone volunteers tonight. We got Dan Rascone, he's up at the hospital, and Alex Cabrero is at the Festival of Trees. Team coverage, if you will, right? And I'll tell you what, we're going to check in with each of them in just a moment here.
You know what? We love being here. This is something we look forward to all year long. Yes. We love the Give-A-Thon, the chance to raise some money for the children and families up at Primary Children's Hospital.
Yeah, we've talked, and there isn't a person in this building right now who hasn't been touched by Primary Children's in one way or another. Mike was there just this last summer for several days.
Yeah, it's funny because my family's had experience one way or the other. My number 2 son was there a few years ago because it was a planned surgery that happened there. So that was all, you know, everything was okay. We know how things are going to go. Over the summer, though, we had an unexpected situation. My number 3 son, Michael, he was up at Bear Lake. They were up there. They were doing some ATV riding. He got into an accident. He was flown by Life Flight to Primary Children. So any parent who gets that call that says, in fact, I was here at the station when they called me and said, hey, we're sending on Life Flight. And so anyway, it just puts the scare of life into you. Anyway, he was there for about a week. He had internal injuries, bleeding, and things like that. They took the best care of him. And it was one of those things, listen, I've been a part of this Give-A-Thon for years and years now, and I've seen the stories. I've told the stories. And to be in one of those stories was a completely different experience. But I knew exactly how things would go when I was up there with my son. I knew he was in good care, and he did. He recovered, and we are so indebted to all the people there at Primary. It's such a great job.
Yeah. Everyone has a story. Mike is recently having that personal story. We've each had stories, and you in the community have had your own stories as well. And so our goal here today, everybody, is to raise as much money as possible for the patients at Primary Children's Hospital. We know there are so many generous people in our community who want to help the kids, and that is why we are here tonight.
Yes, it is why we're here. We talked about the situation, and we all have some kind of connection one way or the other, don't we, Dan?
Yeah, no, we sure do. We've been lucky in our family. We've had a couple of stays there. They've both been very short, but each time we've known that we're in good hands. We have known that we're going to be okay. Well, the Primary Children's Give-A-Thon has been a tradition at KSL for decades. For over 45 years, you've heard about it on KSL Radio, and for 39 years, you've watched it right here on TV. More recently, listeners from FM 100 and 103.5 The Arrow have joined these important efforts. Since 1983, KSL has raised nearly $60 million. It's a project we've been honored to participate in because the work that happens at Primary Children's Hospital is special. And there are multiple ways you can donate. You can call that number on your screen right now. It's 801-575-KIDS. Or you can use that QR code online. Now, Kevin Eubank, he is with some of those volunteers in the lobby where the phone banks have been set up. And Kevin, how are things going out there?
Debbie, it's awesome to have volunteers who come out for a wonderful cause. We know how generous our community is and how much you give to Primary Children's, but we've got volunteers that are right here ready to go, waiting for you to call and make your donation. You can do it online by just scanning the little QR code in the corner. You can call 801-575-KIDS, 5437, and you can make the donation over the phone. But these volunteers are ready to have you make that donation, and it all goes to Primary Children's Hospital charity care program. It is a miracle to have this hospital in our community. And as you just heard from my colleagues, there isn't anyone who doesn't have a primary children's story. Think of yours. Think about those that you love who've been there, been served, and come home. Sometimes the stories aren't always about coming home. It's about the care and the love that's given at that hospital. It is truly remarkable. Please pick up the phone right now, hop online, make the donation. Every dollar counts. It makes a huge difference in our community. And I'm telling you, Mike and Debbie and others, it's just incredible to think that this is right here in our own backyard. We've got it here. We've used it, and so many others do, but we need help to keep that hospital going, guys.
Yep, the work there is second to none, as you mentioned there, Kevin. Thank you. Hospital has some amazing programs that help families in pretty much every situation out there, one of which is the bereavement program. This program helps families during the most difficult times of their lives.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, you know, when a child is diagnosed with a terminal illness, it is next to impossible for families to process what is happening. Primary Children's Hospital Bereavement Service helps them during these incredibly difficult times.
News Special's Tamara Vaifanua sharing one family's experience with this service.
It's just mom and me.
Right.
I think the hardest part was watching him take his last breath.
Due to severe seizures, the Love Toplack family knew their time with their son Demetrius would be limited.
He had some beautiful brown eyes.
At 4 months old, Demetrius began having seizures.
His head would drop and his lips would turn blue.
Doctors at Primary Children's Hospital diagnosed him with a severe form of epilepsy.
Lennox-Gastaut is a drug-resistant type of epilepsy, so nothing worked.
As a result, he was never able to reach certain milestones.
He was never able to say, "I love you." So we could tell by his actions that he loved us.
Then came the respiratory issues.
Ultimately, over the years, his lungs just could not take catching the flu, catching colds.
Demetrius would be at Primary Children's Hospital several times a year for weeks at a time.
This was when he was 16.
Then after his 16th birthday, his health took a turn for the worse. Doctors told him they had only a few days left to prepare for his final moments.
They got a counselor and told us they didn't think there was any more that they could do that would help Demetrius. For me, it was really hard to soak that in. He was a doll. They had him in little baskets and everything.
This photo reminds Sonia of the strong bond she shared with her son.
I just, as a mom, I could only comfort him so much, and I could only hold his hand through so much.
It was taken in June of 2020, right before he passed away in their Roy home.
He was just lovable.
He was 16 years old.
I try to live for him because he couldn't, and he had a very strong will to live.
We probably work with about 180 families a year.
Jennifer Nyes is the bereavement coordinator at Primary Children's Hospital.
Our hope is that we are going to be able to offer some of that comfort and support that's much needed.
A chaplain granted Sonia's wish to baptize Demetrius, and staff took his handprints and footprints as a keepsake.
I was able to make charms from the footprints.
Something that they'll keep for a lifetime that's very sentimental to them.
A caseworker made arrangements for his journey home.
They set it up so that he was able to come home in an ambulance.
We also had a social worker that came to the house. He was able to tell us what to expect and when to expect it.
Having Demetrius home, in his own bed, surrounded by family, meant everything.
We got to all hold his hand, just be there.
I remember telling him I loved him and I always miss him and it's okay.
3 days later, Demetrius passed.
That kind of pain is so deep. I don't think many people could truly understand it.
Caregivers were there to help the family then, and now even years after his death.
Part of our aftercare is offering support groups to parents.
An invaluable service that can benefit every family who faces grief and loss.
I found peace knowing that Demetrius is going to be okay without me until I see him again.
For KSL News, I'm Tamara Vaifanua.
Wow. Tough story there to hear, but an amazing family. I'm Dan Rascone, live at Primary Children's Hospital here. We're talking to the CEO right now, Katie Welke, and we've just heard this amazing story about the bereavement program here. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, that just goes to show you where people's money is going.
Yeah, you know, when a child is sick, you have to treat the whole family. It's not just about treating the child. And so there's a series of wraparound services like bereavement, like music therapy and child life that really treats the whole family. And as part of Primary Promise, we're looking at how we take those services that are so important and expand them even larger, in a larger area, more service area. And so you may have heard we're opening a new hospital in Lehigh, and we will be able to offer the services like bereavement services there at that hospital.
That's what I was going to say. You're expanding your circle here right now, going to Lehigh. Tell us a little bit about that facility there and what people can expect.
So it's the Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Campus, which is so exciting to be opening that. It'll open in January, February of 2024, and we'll have a full service of children's services there. And it will be a trauma center and include things like behavioral health, so important for the community, and all of the wraparound services that are so important to children's care.
So it's not just physical health here. We're talking about mental health too.
Yeah, such an important piece. Probably the #1 concern of families right now is the mental health, particularly of our teenagers. And so thinking about all of the services that can be provided here at this hospital, out in the community broadly, and in that new facility as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Katie Welke, joining us here, the CEO of Primary Children's Hospital. Just goes to show you where your money is going there and the great programs they have here. We're going to go live now to Alex Cabrero. He's at the Festival of Trees out at the Mountain America Expo there in Sandy. Alex.
Yeah, and you know, this is a tradition here that's been going on for some 50 years, the Festival of Trees. And right now, it is in full swing. And I got to tell you, over the past few hours, it has become absolutely packed here. People come and see the trees, the wreaths, the quilts. And you also coming out here to see and taste this fudge. Now, I got to bring over here Joe Egbert. He's on the executive board here with Festival of Trees. And you got the apron on here, Joe. You're the fudge man. You love this stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we actually have about 5,000 pounds of fudge that we made this year. As part of the Sweet Shop board, we make the fudge in our warehouse. And we've got about 45 flavors or so. It's pretty good.
What's the most popular flavor?
Chocolate, straight up chocolate. We made 40-something pans of it. We have apple nachos, hot caramel apples. We've got Divinity. We've got it all.
That's awesome. And Joe, I got to ask you, Festival of Trees, it's personal for you as well, because your son Dylan, you've been through Primary Children's Hospital. You know the work that they do over there. This is such important work that they do up at the hospital.
That's right. You know, Primary Children's, it affects everybody. Our son would have been 18, and this has kind of become our tradition to help remember him. It's not just for me, but my extended family, cousins have all become involved. They work in the sweet shop and do apples. My kids now come and help. Me and my wife spend a lot of time here, so it's a great way to give back because other people keep going through those same things.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much for your time. Yeah. And if you want to see Joe come here and taste the fudge, we have over here also Jonique Dyer, who is also on the executive board. Jonique, today's not the only day. There's time for people to come out here if they want to see this.
Oh, yeah, we're here all the way through Saturday and until 6 p.m. on Saturday, 9 p.m. on the other days, and there's so much to do here. It's a family-friendly event. We've got things for everyone that you can imagine.
Okay. Jonique, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. So you heard her say there's still plenty of time to come on out here if you want to. Lots to do. You see the trees, you see the wreaths, you can taste the fudge, and just have a good time. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back more here coming up on KSL TV. And if you can, call and donate. Check out KSLkids.com. You can donate there and really help those children up there at Primary Children's Hospital.
Well, welcome back. Today we are celebrating Primary Children's Hospital with the annual KSL Give-A-Thon. We are raising money to help kids in need at Primary Children's Hospital.
Yeah, the simple philosophy of the child first and always informs every decision they make at the hospital. Now, each year, more than 85,000 children go there for treatment and services. That's a lot of kids, but because of the amazing people that are working there, they're able to make each child feel special We hope you'll help by donating at some point today.
For nearly 100 years, Primary Children's Hospital has been helping children, families, and communities across the western United States. And did you know, Mike, Primary Children serves the largest geographical area for a children's hospital in the continental United States, serving children from Denver to the West Coast. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The service area expands about 400,000 square miles. That's 10% of the United States. So today, it's all about the children and the caregivers at Primary Children's Hospital. For many doctors, the dream of one day practicing medicine begins at a young age. But for one Harvard doctor, his dream began when he was a patient at Primary Children's Hospital.
Amazing story here, and is only a reality today because tragically, the dreams of another little boy never came true. It is a story that all started 21 years ago at Primary Children's Hospital.
The hospital can be a very scary place, but I can say with my warped perspective from going as a child that I love being in the hospital.
At just 3.5 years old, John Hochstein's heart stopped working properly. He spent months patiently waiting at Primary Children's Hospital for a new one and somehow finding a way to have fun as time ticked by.
I remember my birthday too. I had a nice little birthday party and ended up getting this tricycle that I rode in the halls with a racing suit that we have a nice picture of.
John's memories of the hospital are all so positive. I was in a totally different world than him.
His mother, Barb, however, shouldered the seriousness of her son's situation and what it would take to save him.
You don't pray for something to happen to another child. You only pray for, if something does happen, that they make the decision to donate organs.
Losing Christopher was earth-shattering.
April Huff's 8-year-old brother, Christopher, passed away after being hit by a car. His mother paced Primary Children's as she processed her unimaginable loss and pondered a question no one is ever prepared to answer.
They discussed organ donation with my mother, and initially my mother was completely against it.
But one moment changed everything and the entire future for another family.
She walked past an ICU bed and she recalls seeing 2 little feet sticking out of the bottom of the blankets. She recalls asking what was wrong and being told that the little boy laying there was waiting on her heart. At that point is when she changed her mind and she decided to donate Christopher's organs.
Christopher's family never knew who received his heart until more than 20 years later, when 2 families realized what had happened in a Primary Children's hallway, connecting them for life.
It said that a 4-year-old little boy got his heart.
Those 2 little feet sticking out of a blanket?
Lo and behold, that was John.
Christopher's mom's difficult decision meant a healthy heart just in time for John.
It wasn't even clear to us if he was going to survive that day.
And in just the right size.
Christopher is 8 years old, John was 4, so there was a big difference in the heart size. It was also a perfect fit.
Christopher's tragedy gave John an incredible second chance.
And just this summer, John gave Christopher's mother a second chance to hear her son's heartbeat once again.
It's a blessing to get to share that with them and see how moving it was for them and how it moved them, how much it moved me.
Meeting John and his family was incredibly life-changing. You lose such a huge part of your life, and then you find out that the individual that was saved because of your loss is doing amazing things.
It's been such an honor to be able to have done so well with Christopher's heart.
I think if I could have chose, I would have chose John. If Christopher's heart had to go to someone, it would have been John for sure.
Ashley Moser, KSL 5 News.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Incredible story there. We need some Kleenexes after that story there. But joining me now is Rose Linzer. She's a flight nurse with Life Flight. You just came off shift right now, but you were John's nurse back then. Just tell me about that experience and how it affected your life.
It was very moving. I remember the day he came in. He was this big-headed, curly-haired kid with these scrawny little skinny legs, 3 years old, big smile, great parents, just acted like a 3-year-old. And he lived with us in the unit for the next few months until he received his heart. It was endearing.
And to see that between 2 families, the struggle there, what did you go through as a nurse?
It was quite a dichotomy. It was really hard watching the family of the donor say goodbye to their son. And at the same time, it was cautiously optimistic for John to get through the surgery, recover from the surgery, and not reject the heart. And there were many of us in the unit that day. We were all touched by it, by the donor's decision and by the fact that it worked for John.
And to see his life now.
It's amazing. The kid is great. He's just an awesome young man. I spoke with him today. He just finished medical school in the spring. He graduated from Harvard Medical School. He's now in his first year of pediatric residency. And he did ask if I would just mention that he's still so grateful for the donor for giving him this possibility of the life he now has. And his goal is to pay back. He would like to go into pediatric transplant of some sort in the future.
Well, this is one of many stories as to why people should donate, what the money goes towards. What do you want to tell viewers that are watching this in regards to donating?
John is one of many children that come to this hospital that undergo such amazing life changes, and anyone that can contribute and has the ability to do so, it's so greatly appreciated by the families that come here.
Thank you so much. What a tender and touching story. Goes to show you what is happening here at Primary Children's Hospital. Mike and Debbie, back to you.
Yeah, the work is incredible. We're seeing all the stories. I'm glad you got to talk to her as well. It's good to hear from the inside of what they're seeing, some of these nurses and doctors, and how they're able to help out these families. Okay, so as we have been asking for donations all day long, I think about an hour ago, we were, 260,000?
Yeah.
Well, here we go. This is the total at this point right now, 322,200. No.
Oh.
Here we go.
Wow.
347,300. All right.
That is impressive. All right, so we need those phones to keep ringing. We have a whole crew of volunteers here tonight. They are taking those donations one by one. 801-575-KIDS. They are lining up, and those phones are ringing. It's great. And, you know, Mike, we have some babies and kids in here now. Yeah. Yep. Starting to feel like my house. And this feels normal now.
A lot like our homes. All right, so this evening, we're introducing you to some very special patients from Primary Children's Hospital. Kids who have benefited from the excellent care, as we've talked about, that is given there.
That's right, Mike. And we'll talk with their families, too. You know, hearing your child has cancer, I can't even imagine that. It must stop you in your tracks, changes everything, and it's something you can't prepare yourself for. In the midst of all the COVID restrictions in 2021, the Beard family got the terrible news that their son Miller was very sick. Take a look at their story.
Where'd that dog come from? Get that dog out. Miller is, we call him Silly Millie. He is witty, he is creative, he has a phenomenal imagination.
He reminds me a lot of the way kids used to be growing up, where you don't need much, but an imagination and whatever's around you.
He's just a fun-loving, silly guy.
I want to be an astronaut.
His dream is to go to space.
I just think it'd be cool to go into space and see all that, and for my family to look up and say, hey, look, Miller's up there.
Okay, Ella, your turn. Don't. Miller has acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It's B-cell ALL, and he was diagnosed in January 21 of 2021.
I first met him when he came into the hospital after a couple months of feeling pretty tired and looking more pale.
Miller had told us that he was not feeling well, that his legs were hurting.
She took him into the clinic to our doctor and ran some blood tests, and then she took him back to school. I just figured it would be a normal day.
When the family doctor called me an hour after labs were drawn and said, wherever he is, go get him and take him to Primary Children's immediately, that was scary.
It was really scary because I just thought that I was going to be in the hospital for the rest of my life and never get to see any of my friends or family again.
I was there all by myself, and to make that call to my husband and tell him, you need to find someone to watch the kids and you need to get down here with us.
I don't even know how I got to the hospital. To make that drive was pretty intense.
Before I got cancer, I was always thinking, I would see stuff on the news and movies, and I would always think, that stuff could never happen to me, and then it did.
Hearing the word cancer is so scary, and I think a lot of kids and even parents picture not surviving this, and so I always try to make a point to say my plan is to make sure that you go on to lead a long and healthy life and make sure that they know that that is our goal.
Hello. I don't know who you are. One really big thing that I learned is that everything can change in an instant.
Miller has a good prognosis for the future. I anticipate he is going to do great, and I am going to get to see him in our survivorship clinic for years and years.
You never want to experience primary children's, but when you do, you're just so grateful.
The compassion that they have for the parents and the kids, it's next level.
They really are like angels on earth that walk the hallways there.
And Miller is still undergoing treatment for his cancer, but his prognosis is good. With money raised through the Give-A-Thon and Primary Promise, the hospital has been able to upgrade the Cancer Treatment Center. The new center is a more beautiful space that provides more comfort for the patients undergoing chemotherapy and other treatments. For patients who have to be at the hospital a lot, this is a huge improvement. Joining me right now is Miller and his mother, Cassie. I'm so glad that you guys could be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hard to watch the story back and relive some of those moments, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, Miller, I'm so glad you're here today. Show me that shirt. What do you have going on under Miller's Marvels? What is that about?
It's a group of people that are buying shirts to help me pay for my treatment.
Yeah, family, cousins, friends supporting you along the way. Mom, tell me, the journey at Primary Children's Hospital, no parent ever wants to hear that their son has cancer or leukemia, going through something so difficult like that. But you said there were angels who walk the hallways. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we ever met a doctor or nurse or, just any of the staff there, whether it's Child Life, the social workers, or even the people down, Ronald McDonald, all the social services they have there that weren't amazing. But specifically, the nurses that you're there, every day when you're there initially, or weekly, every other day, sometimes with Miller's treatment, and bringing our laundry into our room at night while we're sleeping, just so I wouldn't have to get up and change it, or just little acts of kindness like that just mean all the world to you when all you can think about is caring for your kid.
Incredible.
They are.
When you told me that the nurses would show up, your laundry folded, done for you, just something else to take off your plate so you could focus on your child. Yeah. And Miller, what about you? You've been up at primaries quite often. You're still undergoing treatment. What are the things up there that you enjoy doing while you're at the hospital as you're going through such a difficult thing?
Yeah, everyone's really nice, and
I say I've gone down and tried out the chocolate shake in the cafeteria. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I want to ask you something. The hike that you went on, I think here in Utah, a lot of us can understand being tired on a hike, but I mean, that was a really difficult moment for you. How did you know something was wrong? Because you knew.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really liked going on hikes, but
But you felt tired.
Yeah, I felt like this one was a little extra difficult.
Yeah.
From just the normal, not.
Yeah, but I understand you have a goal that you want to go back and you want to hike when all this treatment is done, right? Okay, well, I appreciate you guys being here. Before we send it back over to Debbie, I understand you have a dad joke for me, and so he's going to share a dad joke real quick with us.
You want to hear a joke about?
Tell me your favorite one.
Well, what's big and white and will kill you if it falls out of a tree?
A Yeti?
No, a refrigerator.
Okay, that's true. That's true. A refrigerator, too. I wonder how it got there in the first place. Miller, Cassie, thank you so much for being here, and best of luck with the rest of your treatments. Debbie, we'll send it over to you.
Yeah, that was a good dad joke. It was. Well, as you take a few minutes to go to our website or to call us to make your donation, we have a special treat for you. Alex Boyer is here to get us in the Christmas spirit with a song.
Hello, everyone. This is your friendly Alex Boyer in the neighborhood. I want to give a shout out to the Primary Children's Give-A-Thon. Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all that children call their favorite favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Oh, Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that.
Welcome back to the KSL Give-A-Thon for Primary Children's Hospital. We are raising money for the hospital, and we hope you'll help us. Pick up the phone or go to kslkids.com and be part of the Primary Promise right now.
Yeah, research is a big part of the new Primary Promise at the hospital, and the Heredogene study is a part of that research. Scarlett Hill's family is happy to participate in this project. Here is their story.
Oh, Scarlett, she makes us smile with everything that she does every day. She really is the sunshine in our home. When I was pregnant with Scarlett, we found out that she was missing the middle portion of her brain, which is called the corpus callosum. It just separates the right and left brain, and that in and of itself is just developmental delay. But they did say there was a chance, a 10% chance that she could have another genetic disorder. And as soon as she was born, we knew right away, just on her physical appearance, that something else was going on. We weren't sure if she would walk or she would talk. We weren't sure what kind of medical problems she'd have down the road. And so we just take it day by day. Dr. Bonkowski, we've been with him since the beginning. He was even part of the team when she was first diagnosed when I was pregnant. And so she started seeing him right on day one. So, and he's been wonderful. So Dr. Bonkowski got us into genetic testing, and from there we found that she has a few abnormalities, but unfortunately they don't know anything about those genes.
To help medical professionals better understand Scarlett's condition, the Hills were invited to participate in the Heredogene population study at Primary Children's Hospital.
So the Heredogene Children's Study is a large study doing genomic mapping for children, and it's the largest study of its kind in the world.
This study aims to help better predict and prevent serious diseases in the future.
Our goal has been to enroll 50,000 children to understand how genes and genomics influences both disease or can cause disease, as well as to understand how in good situations it can be kind of a force for health.
There's so much about genetics that we don't know, and so this study is hopefully going to help us better learn and understand why genes can lead to certain diseases, maybe helping patients if they have the same disease but different genetic makeup, kind of treatment that will work better for them and be a little bit more personalized.
We went in and they just do a cheek swab. It doesn't hurt. It is easy and fast, and the kids didn't have a problem with it at all.
And then the purpose of that is just so that we can look at the genes from a bunch of different people and hopefully make new discoveries in science.
Scarlett's willingness to participate helps us say, okay, for these kids, what are the things that are kind of going on with their genetics? Are there certain treatments that we haven't even thought of? The stuff we're doing today, now on Heredogene Children's Study, they're the things that, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, they'll be in the textbooks. They'll be like, oh yeah, we discovered this. This is how you prevent this disease. So it's really laying the future of children's health.
When I told my family about Heredogene as well and how I would love for them to be a part of it, they were excited about it. Why not? Why would you not want to help advance medicine to give a better quality of life for generations to come?
Well, Scarlett's story is so incredible, and I have with us here this show. We have Scarlett and her parents, Chad and Cassie. Thanks so much for being there. Or here, Scarlett, do you want to say hi to everybody? I know you were saying hi to the camera earlier. You guys, thanks for being here. When we think about primary children's and the immediate need that children have, that is so incredible, but you guys are even thinking further beyond future. When I think of Scarlett, I think she's going to change medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that really is why we're here, why primary children's is so important to us. You know, she's doing really well right now because we've had a wonderful care team that has been there since day one. But unfortunately, we just still don't know anything about her genetic abnormalities, and that really comes with time, with research, and so we'll see what pops up, and we're just so grateful that we do have a team that's there for us and there to help her. So,
And Chad, for you as a father going through this with a child, that primaries is very much a part of your lives, all of your lives. How has it impacted you and your family?
Yeah, they make the process and everything so easy. Like,
Yeah, that's your daddy.
That's me.
That's your daddy.
That's me, yep. They just make the process so easy. I mean, they have people that help you out, walk you through all these tough life things. For us, you know, at the beginning of Scarlett's life, we were at Primary Children's a lot, trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? What's the next thing we need to fix, we need to take care of? And you just always, everybody's friendly there. They're so kind, and you just always feel a great feeling there, you know? And so they've meant a lot to us, and the great care they've given us.
It's been a second home for Scarlett.
Yeah.
Scarlett, when you think about going up to primaries, what do you like to do up there? Do you like the playroom or the music therapy?
What do you like at Primary Children's when we go to see the doctors? What do you like? Do you like? Yeah, the playroom is at Primary Children's.
I love the playroom.
And she loves to play doctor with the doctors. She likes to do checkups on them first, and
you know what? They need that. They need that too.
Yes.
Well, you guys, we know that this community really supports and rallies around our families, and I hope you've seen that outpouring of support as well.
Oh, absolutely, we have. It really is incredible, and we just really appreciate that support, because that's how you get through this. I mean, if you think about having a child that goes through anything hard, even if they have the flu, I mean, how hard and does it hurt when your kid is suffering? And so to have that support and people behind you knowing you're not alone is really huge.
And this is what this is for, so the community can come out and help support families who are in need, who are going through difficult things. Well, Scarlett, thank you so much for being here. It's good to meet you.
What do you say?
You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right. Well, thanks you, Chad, Cassie. Appreciate you being here. Let's send it over to Alex, who is at the Festival of Trees. Alex?
Yeah, and Sharon, the Festival of Trees here at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy, this place is absolutely packed. We'll take a look down the hallway right here, and you can just see people have been just showing up left and right out here to see the trees, the wreaths, have some food, and really just have a good time. And joining me here now is Keely Taylor. She's with the executive board here with the Festival of Trees. And Keely, I got to ask you, you haven't been able to do this for 2 years because of COVID. Seeing everybody back here and smiling again, this has to feel great from your perspective.
It does. It feels so good to see all the people, and especially the kids who are singing and dancing on the stage. It's like my favorite part of festival.
Now, this tree right here, this is actually your tree. You made this with your daughter. Tell us about this tree.
Yep, we made it for Maddie, my daughter, JC, and I put it together, and we dedicated it to Maddie, and we surprised her, so she didn't know we were doing it until last night. So it's been fun.
Yep.
To honor her and just all she's been through. So.
Right. And Maddie, she's your daughter over here. We're going to chat with Maddie Christensen. You've been through Primary Children's. You see, you have a heart condition, so you know how important these doctors are and what they've done for you.
Yeah, that's true. I've gone to Primary Children since I was 4 because of my heart problem. I'm now 23 and I still go there. The doctors there are just great, and I really love attending that hospital as a patient still.
Yeah. And this tree, you said, your mom said she surprised you with it. What do you think of the tree here? And all these trees, they're beautiful.
Yeah, the trees are awesome. I was really surprised when I saw the tree. I honestly had no idea that she was going to make it for me. So it's an awesome tree. All the trees are great. I think one thing about my tree that I love most is all the pickleball stuff, because I love pickleball.
Yeah, and that's something I love about these trees is they all have a little bit of something. The pickleball is over here. So if you want to come out and see these trees, there's a silent auction going on where you can purchase the trees. All the money goes towards the kids there at Primary Children's Hospital. We're also part of this Give-A-Thon that we're doing. You can go to KSLkids.com and donate to help out those children. They raise millions of dollars every year, and it is good, again, Shara, to see the Festival of Trees where there's so many people out having a good time. You see those smiles again, and you can truly feel this Christmas spirit. So, Cheryl, let's send it back there to you.
Oh, it is wonderful, Alex. Thank you. And you can be a part of making lives better at the hospital. Call the number on your screen or scan the QR code, and it will take you directly to the online donation form at kslkids.com. And you can make your donation even more meaningful by becoming a smile maker with a reoccurring monthly gift of $15 or more for at least a year. With your monthly donation, you can help kids at the hospital every single day of the year. KSLkids.com makes it easy to donate. No matter the amount you give, you can be sure your money is going to a good cause, because 100% of the money we receive from your donations stays right here locally to help children at Primary Children's through charity care. So thank you for being willing to make a difference. Every single penny counts. Kevin, we'll send it out to you.
Hey, Shara, thank you so much. Hey, every year we participate in a photo contest that raises funds for Primary Children's Hospital, and we could not do it without Les Olson. And I am so privileged today to be joined by Scott and Troy Olson of Les Olson IT. Guys, every year we do this. Every year I'm so grateful that you're a part of this. Why do we do this calendar, Scott? What's the big deal?
Well, you're right, Kevin. It's been every year for, gosh, I can't even remember how long it goes back that far, right? So we do this because we know it benefits the kids at Primary Children's Hospitals. That's the bottom line why we do this. But it's also really cool to see the amazing photographs that come in from the talent across the state, right? And then it's just really neat to see every year what gets donated to the hospital through this effort.
Yeah, so all those pictures become a calendar at the end of the year. Those calendars get sold at Deseret Book locations with all the proceeds going to Primary Children's. And you know what, Troy, the reason why we're doing it, as Scott just said, it is about the kids. Why did Les Olson get involved in this regarding the kids?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. It is truly an honor to be a part of it. And it is about Primary Children's and all of our children and what Primary Children's does here in our own community and beyond. I mean, people come from all over to this incredible hospital. And how excited are we? There's going to be a second one down in Lehigh very soon. The Primary Promise, I know that's going strong. And we are just so thankful to be a part of it with KSL and especially Primary Children's. They are near and dear to us. Well, thank you, guys.
Take a look at this check. Everyone from Les Olson IT, $43,341. Debbie and Mike, I'm telling you, this is awesome. Just add it to the totals. They all continue to grow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of totals, right,
yes.
Debbie?
Yes. Should we unveil the new numbers?
I think
Let's
we
see.
should.
Yes, it scrolls. It's very exciting. Let's see where we stand now. And this is all money raised today.
Wow. Check that out, 390,641. Let's give it up for that. Well done, everyone.
Yes.
Great job.
And we were just listening, and one of our volunteers over there just took a $5,000 donation from a caller.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. The phones are ringing, and that's what we like to see over there. We got Daryl Brown. He's a president of Bonneville International Corporation. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. Bonneville KSL has been a part of this for decades, and we've latched onto this. Why is it so important to Bonneville?
Well, it's right at the core of what our mission is, and that's to build up and, lift communities in the markets where we serve. And, I think about broadcasting's role of serving the public interest and using the airwaves to do that. And what better thing could we use our airwaves for in our transmission facilities than to do this, to help the families and especially the children that are in most need. So,
and I'm sure you, like anyone else, everyone has some kind of connection to Primary Children's. Is it the same with you?
Yeah, it is. Actually, in our family, my oldest brother had a son born. He's now 45 years old, if you can believe that. But when he was a week old, he was in Children's Hospital up in Canada, but had been in and out of there. So I've seen firsthand the work that these hospitals do. And I have the privilege to serve on the board of Primary Children's. So I just feel it's a sacred place when you go over there, knowing the healing that's being done to help people and just to hear of these stories. And we're just honored to be able to tell it and share it. And I just want to thank our viewers and our listeners today. On all of our channels are pointed at this today. So it's a remarkable, and thank you to Utahns for being so generous.
Thank you, Daryl. We appreciate all you do.
Yep. And we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the donations you've sent in so far. We live in such a generous community, but we still need more people to pick up the phone or go to their computers to donate to Primary Children's Hospital. Again, 100% of the money we earn today will benefit the kids.
Yes, it will. The money we raise is going directly to the kids at the hospital, helping them and their families in so many ways. You know, learning your child needs brain surgery would alarm any parent out there, but doctors at Primary Children's Hospital are performing less invasive procedures, thanks in part to an eye MRI designed specifically for kids.
A carefree moment like this is something Sammy Torres used to rarely experience.
Like out of nowhere, I would just be doing something and it just comes up and then it would happen.
An epileptic seizure. Sammy began having them when he was 11 months old, and they continued through childhood.
Like, I would usually just have them like a couple times a day, like usually every day, or some mornings, just like mornings, afternoons, or night.
You know, it causes a lot of challenges in his life because he had to be on different medications. I feel like it delayed a lot of things for him.
Sammy couldn't participate in most childhood activities. On top of that, medications were expensive, and even those stopped working.
After a lot of procedures and testing and stuff, you know, we came to the conclusion that he needed a surgery.
Sammy needed brain surgery.
I was really nervous to first go in.
But doctors at Primary Children's Hospital were able to perform a less invasive procedure.
I feel like now there's so much advancement in medicine that there's a lot of things that they can do. That surgery he went through, it was the laparoscopic, which is done with a laser.
Doctors used an eye MRI and light to essentially burn off overactive nerves in the middle of Sammy's brain. The eye MRI at Primary Children's Hospital is state-of-the-art and designed specifically for smaller bodies.
It really blew my mind to know that they could do that.
And since the surgery a year ago,
he's been seizure-free and he is not on any medications.
Now I just feel normal, like it feel way better. I can do things, go do my school and not like be all worried about it.
Seizure-free, worry-free, and now living a life like a normal kid. A mother's wish has finally come true. I'm Dan Spindle, KSL 5 News.
Dan, thank you. We have said it before, but everyone seems to be impacted by Primary Children's Hospital. Did you know, according to the 2021 Primary Children's Hospital statistics, more than 86,000 patients were seen at the hospital last year alone. That's an average of more than 180 kids per day. Average age of patients seen is 7 years old. There are more than 3,500 caregivers who make up the hospital staff at Primary Children's. Hospital cares for kids from birth to the age of 21. There are so many reasons to donate to the hospital, and Shara, science and research is one of them.
That is a huge thing happening up at Primary Children's Hospital. Thanks to the money going towards science and research, types of heart surgeries are far less invasive than they once were. 12-year-old Carson Downing is grateful for those advancements. He recently had to have surgery at Primary Children's Hospital, and for him, it wasn't nearly as bad as when he was an infant. Here's his story.
Opie, come on. 12-year-old Carson Downing is always on the go with his brother and dog close by.
Sit, shake. Good boy.
How do you like better, your dog or your brother?
I don't know.
Carson and his twin brother Graham entered the world just a few minutes apart.
You know, he was 5 pounds. He was 2 pounds bigger than Carson.
Carson was diagnosed with tetralogy of Fallot at birth, a very rare heart condition that causes oxygen-poor blood to flow out of the heart and into the rest of the body. Surgery closed the holes in his heart, but didn't cure the heart condition.
He has yearly checkups with a cardiologist to make sure that his oxygen levels are good and that his heart is doing well.
But during his last checkup, the doctors discovered one side of his heart was growing larger.
The way the heart kind of compensates by pumping extra flow every time it pumps, because it pumps the normal amount of blood plus whatever leaks back, is that area gets kind of stretched. So this is a transcatheter pulmonary valve.
A heart valve needed to be replaced before the strain on Carson's heart turned into damage. But rather than perform an invasive open heart surgery, Dr. Robert Gray was able to use a catheter thanks to medical advancements.
The technology is booming, and it's exciting, especially for our patients, because these newer technologies where we can replace a heart valve through the vein in the leg, as opposed to having repeated open heart surgeries where they have to open the chest and go on the heart-lung bypass machine.
I didn't really feel nervous. It was just like, oh, it's happening.
Instead of being in the hospital several weeks healing from heart surgery, Carson was up and playing within a week.
Yeah, the recovery was so much easier.
But eventually, he will need another valve replacement. The hope is, one day, these valve replacements will last permanently.
And the only way they're going to get that is to be able to do the research and have the funding to make those advancements possible.
That's where donations can make a difference. In the meantime, Carson and his family are grateful for every day he gets to spend just being a regular kid.
He's struggled being a little kid with his heart issue, and you know, I hope he just continues to keep growing and getting healthier.
Lori Pritchard, KSL 5 News.
All right, Lori, thank you. We have seen so many of those stories throughout the day. They are heartwarming, and it just gives you a little glimpse into what goes on at Primary Children's Hospital and why the money is so valuable and so important in helping all these kids. Okay, speaking of donations, you want to see what our final total is, at least up until this hour?
Let's do it.
We're all interested. Let's take a look here. As it rolls. There you go, my friends. $412,949. That's not bad.
That is a lot of money.
That's pretty good. Coming up until what? We're about 7 o'clock. And the good thing is we're going to keep on going throughout the evening.
Yeah, we sure are. Our volunteers are still taking calls. The phones are ringing nonstop at this point. They're all taking donations. You can do a one-time donation. You can do a one-time donation every month for the year. There are a lot of ways to donate.
We want to make sure we also thank all of our families who have participated in this Give-A-Thon. It is your stories that help us to inspire those to give back and help other families in the community. So thank you.
And we love the stories. We love the miracles that happen at Primary Children's, and it couldn't happen without your help. Thank you to everyone who's made it possible. We're not done. We'll be with you throughout the evening, and you've got a chance to donate, again, all night long, 1-801-575-KIDS, or right there at KSLKids.com. Click that QR code. It takes you right to the donation page.
All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you back here tonight at 10 o'clock.